in a like a forward staging area, I guess, waiting for the air ward to finish. They wanted to, I guess, soften them up with air was going to go in, and they were going to do their thing. And then, like, as far as we knew, like, there wasn't even going to be much left by the time we got there after they're done hitting them with air. So we ended up, we were pushing a big battalion 360, and then that's where we kind of waited for a day or two.
Okay. So what were you did you already dig up fighting positions at that time or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, I dug my first real fighting hole. All the other ones were all training and stuff like that, but I dug my first real fighting hole up there, and Corporal Kelly was the saw gunner. He was my fighting hole partner, so we shared a little spot there.
Was there any instructions or anything that y'all were issued before y'all were leaving? Any last minute stuff?
Yeah, we at one point, they're like, all right, gentlemen, this is the last mail call we're going to get. If you have any letters, write them now, and then these will get sent home after this. Mail is going to be cut off, we didn't know for how long it would be. No communications out or in. So I ended up writing some letters home to family, because at that point, like, I had come to the conclusion, like, my squad leader, Corporal Delfield, he said, he gave me a little piece of advice. He's like, look, the best way to get through this is to already come to the conclusion that you're already dead. It'll be easier to get through it. And so I did. I figured, well, I'm dead. Like, it makes it easier to operate. You're not going home, so why not just do everything that you have to do when you need to? So I wrote every one of my family members a letter, basically either apologizing or thanking them for different things in the past, and put all the letters in one envelope and sent them to the address I knew, which was my parents, which turned out to be a mistake, because even though I wrote their name on each piece of paper, like this letter is for Katie, this letter is for Corey, Mom, Dad, they read all of them. My mom got the letter in the mail, and my brother told me this later, her and my dad, like, she sat my dad down, and I guess they cried over reading. They read every single letter, and they ended up crying about it. And I got home later, and my brother's like, you idiot. He's like, why didn't you send me the letters or something? Like, you shouldn't have put them all in one envelope. He's like, they read all of them, and he's like, it just killed Mom. So I felt kind of bad about that.
Well, so it kind of backfired.
Yeah, but it was something I needed to do to get me prepared and come to that conclusion that I'm not coming home.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Like I said, being able to record this is historical material and whatnot. You kind of get the mindset of the Marine infantryman before you the parts in the modern warfare. Is there I understand that the ground war for y'all started a little early before even crossing the line of departure.
Yeah, I remember it was at that same location. Was all of a sudden I'm sitting there writing these letters, and I looked to my left and I looked to my left and I looked to my right, and I see all kinds of movement around the track area, and like they were closing the back doors of their tracks, because we had a track on each side of us, and then like there was a squad of Marines between two tracks, and then the next same thing like that all the way around this battalion 360. And I look around, I see all the track ramps closing, and they start buttoning up, and I'm like, what's going on here? And we didn't get any word. And then all of a sudden, a minute later or so, like, we get the call, like, hey, Scud's in the air, gas up. So we put our gas masks on, and we just waited. Like, we tucked down in our fighting holes and just waited. And then they ended up telling us, all clear on mask. And we kind of like looked around and waited for like the higher ups to start taking their masks off. And then when we saw that they took theirs off, we're like, all right, we're good. And I remember asking Corporal Southwick was our track commander. I remember asking him, like, what? Why didn't you guys tell us? He's like, well,
Bellmont OIF1.
I don't know. They just said they said Scuds in the air, so we just buttoned up real quick. We forgot about you guys. I'm like, thanks a lot.
So, oh, real quick, yeah, Scud's just a big Iraqi rocket used, and at that time y'all were concerned that that was a delivery system for chemical warfare and biological agents at that time.
Yeah, they said.
And you didn't hear or see the Scud, or did?
No, I didn't hear or see him or anything like that. But later on, had heard that one got shot down, and that one ended up hitting somewhere. Part of me wants to say that it hit near the airport or something. I can't remember at all.
Okay.
So
this was something. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear it that night. This is something like long.
Yeah, this is something we'd heard a while afterwards. And it could have been like, it was just after that fact, sometime afterwards, someone had said something. It's real rusty because it was 4 years ago.
Oh, real briefly, do you mind? I guess there, like I said, a number of people aren't going to know what tracks are. Do you mind explaining what these tracks are that you're going to spend most of the war in?
Oh yeah, we lived in those things for like a month, and that sucked. It's an AAV, which I believe stands for. Anti-armor vehicle or something like I don't remember. Amphibious, that's what it is. Amphibious armored vehicle.
Okay.
It's I don't know how to describe it. It's a big troop carrying boat / tracked bus. They're miserable. There's 3 rows of seats in them, 2 along the wall and then 1 up the middle. We ended up taking the 1 up the middle out so that we could fill it with all our ammo and stuff in there. And they break down all the time. We couldn't get but a couple of miles, if that. Like the whole convoy would stop and we'd be like, what now? Like, oh, another track broke down. So like all the tracks that we had over there were all old and beat up and just junk. They ended up getting replaced afterwards, but like it's always after the fact when you find out that your shit's broke.
Okay. Was there I assume that your track crew that you are with, what kind of weapon system do they have on it? I mean,
they've got a 50 cal or Mark 19, or I think they have both. And
what's the Mark 19?
Mark 19 is a 40 millimeter grenade launcher. It's an automatic weapon. It's my favorite weapon. I've never gotten to carry it or anything like that, but I think it's the coolest. Yeah, that's my favorite weapon. But that's that's on the turret. The turret's on the right hand side of the vehicle, up towards the front, and it's all automated. So like they don't have to crank nothing. It's just like zzz, and they turn. They get that's pretty cool. But and then on the left hand side of the vehicle, you've got the driver, which sits up front, and then right behind that is the TC hatch, or the tactical commander sits. So like that's where the grunt squad leader or whoever's in charge of that particular track unit, the guys inside of the track, and then there's a track member that rides in back. He takes care of the comm, and lets the guys know in back what's going on. He's basically the connecting file between the track members and the Marines in back.
Okay. I mean, you were with the same crew the whole war?
Yeah, it was Corporal Southwick was he was the track commander of that particular track that we were in.
You have a pretty experienced crew?
The driver was a private first class who, like, he didn't have much track time.
You're saying he didn't have much track, so he was...
Yeah, he didn't have much driving time beforehand, but boy, he got some hours in throughout the war. He drove a lot. Those track drivers were up countless hours during the push.
Okay. There was an incident once, I guess I'm kind of backing up here, before the war, during training, with a track going over a berm or something like that.
Oh yeah, we were on